Hello and welcome back to the Pit Paddock Racing Show for the fourth week of September. We had 2 of the 3 series on track this weekend because IndyCar sucks and is done.
Did they always end this early?
They have in the last few years. They want to get it done before football starts, which, looking at the ratings, I guess is not a bad plan.
They don't want to compete against NFL.
No, they really can't.
They probably don't want to compete against bowling.
Cornhole.
Well, Indy's not going to advertise on our show now.
Oh, man. NASCAR was at Bristol for its only night race of the season, where apparently Asians can drive at night. So, Kyle Larson ended up leading 462 of 500 laps and won the race by 7 seconds.
That's a 500-mile race at some tracks.
Man. Only losing the lead during pit stops.
Oh, it's like early Red Bull racing.
Oh, man. It sure was a race. Chase Elliott finished second and Bubba Wallace bookended third to complete the DEI requirements of the race.
Seems like the whole race was a bit of a snooze fest.
It was, I watched most of it. I wasn't super excited by much of it. I was doing other things while the race was on, but not the best race at Bristol I've seen.
Yeah, where's all the bumping and banging and rubbing?
There was a grand total of 8 lead changes between 4 different drivers. Not much else going on. I guess with a quick recap of the race, we're going to start with stage 1. Kyle Larson dominated. Stage 2, Kyle Larson dominated. Stage 3, he won the race and dominated. I don't know. He had Larson's great car combined with difficult passing pretty much made for a runaway.
At this point, NASCAR should consider cutting either Bristol or Martinsville until they can put on a decent short track race.
They've already cut a Richmond race for next year. They built a car that is terrible on short tracks, and that used to be their biggest show.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever you do, don't add any more than 670 horsepower, because for some reason NASCAR just absolutely refuses to add more horsepower.
Don't sprint cars have more horsepower?
Everything has more horsepower. You would think if there's that much power, it would be more difficult to turn. Bring a little more variation into driving strategies. Tire wears would be much faster.
Yeah.
But no, 670. That's the best we can do.
A little tire fall off would have helped the race be interesting.
Man, I've gone all season hearing Goodyear talk about tire fall off and how great it's going to be, or we've got this new soft tire coming up, but I don't know. I'm just going to assume they're lying every time they talk about it, because every time we get to the race, it's the same, and the tire lasts 150 laps without anything happening at all. With Watkins Glen, there was talk about the tire fall off, then the race comes and the cars are running longer than a full fuel session and not wearing out.
Well, if they want some fall off, they should probably hire a Democratic pollster.
That'll do it.
I saw Corey LaJoy had his standard crash. Seems like joy doesn't work for racing campaigns either.
Man, he's had a rough go of it this year.
He was the upside down spin like a top guy, right?
Was that
Josh
LaJoy? Berry? He did get upside down a couple times this year.
Wait, who spun around upside down like a top? That wasn't LaJoy?
Was that Josh Berry?
Was it Berry? Okay.
I don't know. He ended up switching rides after this week with the 51 car for the rest of the season. He got booted for poor results, I guess. Other noticeable things, lap 236 playoff driver Harrison Burton ended up dropping out early with steering issues. I really had him going to the next round.
I had money on Burton.
Rough.
Yeah. What was up with Jones? Why did everybody want to crash him? Is just because he's got Richard Petty's number? Is that was that a thing you don't do? Like, you put on Petty's number, we're crashing into you.
That's his team. Well, he can have his number. I don't know. He is like a magnet for some reason this weekend.
He could have put like 43A. You put a little lowercase letter on.
Little sprint cars.
Yeah.
IndyCar used to do that. Well, after the great spring race at Bristol, it looked like a pretty close to sellout crowd there for the first time in years that I've seen. But I don't know if that's going to keep up after the race they put on.
Yeah, it was like IndyCar at Phoenix.
Oh, man. That was
just a parade.
That was a rough one to watch.
I remember when NASCAR races were all sold out, and they charged ridiculous money, and they still sold out every race.
Now they cut the seating in half and sell out.
You call it a sellout.
Yeah. Quick playoff recap.
Oh yeah, who's out?
Well, Martin Truex, he's going to be even more checked out of racing than he was before he was out of the playoffs.
He got killed by a speeding penalty, right? Going into the pits.
Yeah.
He said later that he wanted to be unburdened by what had been.
Good for him. That should solve the problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went from, was he running second and then back to the 20th place and then just couldn't pass anyone else. Little Ty Gibbs also got pushed to the back with a speeding penalty.
I really thought he'd make it one more round, but they don't have points for nepotism, and there's no nepotism slot.
I think they're gonna add an extra 10 points next year for that. If you get a junior on your name.
Oh yeah.
That's what they should do. Brad Keselowski didn't make it. That wasn't much of a surprise for me.
I was really hoping for at least one more drunk Brad post-race interview.
Was that the championship where he chugged a beer out of a massive glass or something and then had to do 2 hours of interviews after that?
He was just slurring all over the place and hammered. Oh, that got interesting real fast.
Let's see who else is out here. Oh, Harrison Burton. Absolutely shocking. Shocking results.
Oh, well. Wait, is he the son of, or is he a nephew, or...
Jeff Burton's son.
Straight up son?
Yeah. He's losing a ride next year. He'll be in the Busch Series in the 15 car. So
he's dropping down.
Yeah.
So who do you think will be knocked out? Is it a one person per race now, or do they go like 2 races and then drop 4?
They do the 3 after the 3rd race is when they make a cut. They'll cut 4.
Okay.
So we've got 12 left now. And I think Suarez is going to miss out.
Okay.
Chase Briscoe, Austin Cindric, and my surprise one is Joey Logano doesn't make it.
What did Joey Logano do to you?
I don't know. He just annoys me.
Yeah.
He's not had a great year.
But he took over Tony Stewart's car, so I like him a little bit for that.
Briscoe. That's the 14.
Yeah. I picked Briscoe, Suarez, Reddick, and Hamlin to drop out after the next 3.
Hamlin's pretty close.
Yeah.
He was cutting it close this time, too.
Reddick's going to have like 2 DNFs or something, like really bad luck. And that's going to do it. What do they say in England? That's going to do for him.
That'll do for
Yeah.
Yeah, the big surprises this last round was Cindric and Suarez moving on, but I don't think they can pull that off again.
Suarez had a really bad race.
He was real close. He had 2 great races, points-wise, and then barely cut it through with that. I don't know, just running like laps down the whole race. It was rough.
Next 3 races are...
coming up this weekend, we got the 1.5-mile oval at Kansas.
Okay.
Then we got the big 2.5-mile Talladega drafting track. So God knows what's going to happen there. And then the Charlotte Roval 2.2-mile road course. So that could be crazy as well. Or boring, depending on how the car's driving.
The road courses are usually interesting, just, people out braking themselves and knocking 3 other people out of the way. The bowling. Well, remember the last one, the Go Bowling?
Oh, yeah,
Watkins
the
Glen?
Go Bowling. It's like, don't mind if I do.
Yeah, there was a lot of bowling going on in that one.
they'll do if there's a green, white checker finish, people are just going to rail into everyone in front of them every time at the road course.
Might as well give it a shot.
Already starting off worried are Austin Cindric, Suarez, Bowman, and Briscoe. They are all below the cutoff line to start the next round. And I said that I'm thinking if Logano does not win at Kansas, which he could do, then he's not going to move on. I don't think that team, I don't know, they might get like a good one or two good races here and there, and I think they could do it at Kansas, but if they don't, I don't think they're going to move on.
They're not so good at super speedways.
No, not really.
That's a Ford thing this year.
They usually work well, but his team has just been a little off this season. Got lucky a couple times.
Oh, paints. All right, what do you got for paints?
Well, once again, the Meat and Bone car made an appearance, which always will get mentioned. And then Daniel Hemrick in the 31 car. It was great to see him cover both major food groups, Doritos and Mountain Dew.
All right on.
Delightful.
They should do a new food pyramid, but let snack foods and soda companies decide what it looks like.
Like they did the last time?
Yeah, like the last one made no sense either. And
no, everyone needs all the carbohydrates ever.
Gobs of
like
carb.
all of it.
Yeah. In reality, it should be like vegetables at the bottom. You have to eat so many vegetables to get a calorie out of them, though. So that's. I mean, it's cool if you fried okra. That's a good vegetable.
Well, you deep fry any vegetable, it's usually pretty good.
Yeah. Too bad potato's not a vegetable, because then you could just eat French fries all the time.
It's not. What is it?
I think it's a root.
Oh.
Like it's a carb.
Okay.
It's like straight up. Potatoes are like straight up. It's like eating sugar on your body.
Oh, all right.
And then
That's disappointing.
Potatoes. They're so versatile. I mean, you can make mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, French fries, vodka. It's like the superfruit. Anyway. Mountain Dew. When I'm 150 and they're interviewing me, what's your secret? I'm going to say bacon and Mountain Dew. Anyway, for good ones, I went with Balicki. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah,
Blicky. Dick Blicky. The number 66 Arby's car. I kind of have a soft spot for Arby's because during the pandemic, you couldn't get Mellow Yellow west of the Mississippi. But then I learned if you go to Arby's, they not only have Mellow Yellow, they have it on tap.
Ooh.
So you could get the good Mellow Yellow at Arby's. So Arby's will always,
So the third major food group, Doritos, Mountain Dew, and then Arby's.
Yes. Arby's is they say it's roast beef, but, I've seen how they make Arby's beef, and I'm not going to talk bad about Arby's right now.
No. Sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I had Arby's, and then you have Arby's, and you're like, I wish I didn't have Arby's.
Yeah. Although the gyro's not bad if you get the beef.
All right. That Arby's car got passed 140 times, I think, more than... I think that car had the most passing out of the entire weekend.
Sad. But still. All right, what was your no cars paint schemes?
Not too bad. LaJoy had a mattress warehouse car that for like 80% of the race, I swear, said mattress whorehouse. And I kept trying to look at it and see what it... I'm like, does it actually say that? I thought it did. But then I found a picture later, and that is not what it says.
It does not say mattress whorehouse. My Nova went to Gregson in the number 10 Winchester car because there were no gun picks on the car. It just said Winchester ammunition, and I'm like, yeah, nobody knows you for ammunition. You're known because you made the cowboy gun that's in all the Westerns.
Yeah. Just sell that.
Yeah, why can't... They need to put a picture of guns on there. I'm sure they make an AR.
Gregson should actually get to have one during the race.
Oh, yeah.
Like take someone's tire out with it or something.
Shoot some tires.
That'd be fun.
Does Winchester make a 40 cal semi-auto?
I don't know.
Just like a handgun? I don't know. Winchester make handguns? I know they have lots of rifles.
I don't know. I've never had one.
And shotguns. And then honorable mention for bad paint jobs is my man Gilligan, because I have no idea what that sponsor was on his car.
I don't even remember. It was like a white car, and it
It
said
was like gray and white, and it had like 2 letters that were stylized, and I had no idea what he was advertising for. So big fail.
"Get more fun sponsors, everybody."
Yeah, I like the old sponsors like Tide. Who had Tide?
What's that? Daryl Waltrip and
Ricky Rudd.
Ricky Rudd, Ricky Craven. I remember a few Tide cars.
Yeah, he had cars like Tide, Coors, Skull. You had a Skull car.
Oh, the Skull Bandit car.
Yeah,
That was fun.
that was a good car.
Mellow Yellow.
Mellow.
Hardee's. Oh, that was the movie.
Do you have the Oscar Mayer car? Was there an Oscar Mayer car?
Yes, I remember one.
They were all like great American brands.
Now they're all like business to business type sponsorships and
Drug companies.
drug companies and like something I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Well. Anyway, coming up next is the first race of the next round, Kansas.
1.5 miles?
1.5 miles. Should be a good race. They put on a good show last time, so
What's Kansas like in September?
I don't know.
It's like harvest. No, it's not quite harvest time. They're probably gearing up for Oktoberfest already.
Who's not?
Yeah. On to Formula One, where in Singapore the British conquer once again as Lando Norris wins the Lizard Grand Prix with Verstappen second and Pastry in third.
Oh, and Lando Norris didn't cock up the start this time.
Oh, yeah. They said it was the first race where he started first and was first at the end of the lap. First lap.
In his career?
Yeah, I think so.
That's amazing.
I think so. He kept losing the lead. The best part about it is when Norris wins, we only have to listen to the British national anthem one time.
That's nice. We can get things moving along quickly.
Yeah. I was sitting there wondering, are they going to play it again after the first time? You know, once for the driver, once for the manufacturer.
They just count it the one time.
I'm really glad that they do.
Good.
What the Singapore Grand Prix needs is more lizard. Did you see the marshals chasing one of those lizards? Like, they're huge. They're like the size of a big cat. And but yeah, when lizards running across the track and they're chasing them, and then the FIA guys start scoring or start timing the lizard. They gave him like purple in sector 1, purple in all 3 sectors. They're having a good time. That lizard's just booking it across the track. His arms flailing everywhere. Marshall's trying to chase him down.
Good luck. Actually, I think that might have been the Singapore Prime Minister.
The lizard person?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, lizard people. Makes me want to rant about lizard people and run off of an airplane.
I don't. That guy's not real. Kind of makes me want to delete all my social media after finding out P. Diddy was arrested.
Makes me want to go eat bugs with Klaus Schwab.
Kind of makes me want to visit the Bohemian Grove.
Ooh, yeah, lots of lizard people at the Bohemian Grove. If you don't know about the lizard people, just Google it.
Good luck.
We're not promoting any conspiracy theories at this point. Ferrari drivers, both of them moved up a few slots, but man, Ferrari blew a chance at gaining on Red Bull on the points when they forgot how to read a tire thermometer before qualifying.
Well, my sources say that Red Bull switched them out for meat thermometers, and the Italians didn't notice.
Looks the same.
Also, pretty hard luck there for Albon, who had a DNF in the closest thing to his own home race.
Oh yeah, he's from Thailand.
That's a-
Oh wait, he's literally born in England, but he's Thai. So Singapore's closest thing we have to Thai, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
There's no Thai Grand Prix.
Not yet.
I noticed in qualifying, I saw there was one of the guys from Cool in the gang. I thought it was P. Diddy at first, but there were no teenage girls with him, so...
Or boys.
Yeah.
Was it Cool or was it the gang?
It might have been Cool.
Oh.
There might have been some of the gang there, too.
I know they're busy now.
Yeah, they've recording a lot of albums lately.
The Drivers' Championship, Verstappen is still leading Norris by 52 points, and Chuck Leclerc trails him by 86 points.
Who, and Norris got robbed of the one fast lap point by Ricardo, even though Ricardo didn't get the point because he wasn't in the top 10. But so Red Bull's junior team sent a guy out to get the fast lap so that McLaren guy wouldn't have it, even though it did him no good.
God, McLaren's calling for an investigation.
That was pretty low. Wait, so now, if Verstappen finishes second in every race and Norris gets first and fast lap, it still won't be enough for Norris to win. Like that 1 point basically made it impossible.
So they'll have to crash out.
Yeah.
Well, McLaren should call their junior team. Why do Red Bull get a junior team on the field now? How does
Red Bull make enough money to field two teams in the most expensive auto sport in existence?
Drug money laundering?
I don't see that many people drinking Red Bull products.
I've rarely had, but they taste kind of weird.
Yeah, unless you mix it with vodka, then after a couple you don't really notice that it tastes weird.
No, they're also got their hands in every sort of extreme type sport too.
Yeah, how do they afford it? They have like airplanes and sailing
stuff and
yeah, that's right.
All sorts of stuff.
Do they have a Dakar team?
Oh, I believe so. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know how they're making that much money off of a soft drink. In the Manufacturers' Championship, Red Bull is down by 41 points now to McLaren. McLaren's taken off. And then Ferrari is in third, back by 75 points. People are starting to ask, can Ferrari catch up to Red Bull?
Well, if Perez keeps driving like it's a sports car audition, he's definitely going to catch him.
He did drive terrible again, didn't he?
He started 13th and finished 10th. So bad qualifying, bad race.
The last time he drove really well, he crashed into Carlos on the last lap and destroyed. Then his team got no points.
I think they're already paying. Some other teams are already paying him to be terrible.
And then Haas is only 3 points behind Toro Rosso.
Really?
Yeah, they're close.
They've been sneaking in a point or two here and there recently, just with.
Yeah. They got Mags. Mags is back. You can get him some points.
Good. Or he can block to get Hulkenberg some points.
Yeah. All's fair in love and Formula One. Some fun facts about Singapore. How does a country with a population the size of Wisconsin pay for an F1 race? Answer: create a tax haven for the world's wealthy elite to hide their money from the socialist governments that they tell us to vote for.
Like Monaco?
Like Monaco. And Abu Dhabi. If you're in the Arab world, you hide your money in Abu Dhabi.
Good to know.
Yeah. Also, Singapore is one of the largest buyers of Israeli weapons.
Oh. Hamas gets them all for free.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. They don't have to pay for them.
Yeah, they just send it right to them.
Oh, they like FedEx it from Iran.
Yeah, send them in their pagers and whatnot.
And then in Singapore, they will pay a citizen up to $166,000 to have a baby.
Well, it ain't much, but it's honest work.
It is honest work, isn't it? Honey, I want a new car. Well, let's just have another baby. Okay. They also have like one of the highest per capita income ratios.
Weird how that works with the tax haven.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. Ireland's starting to figure that out too.
Yeah.
Speaking of Singapore, I'm really tired of hearing how physically difficult that race is for the drivers, right? Because it's too hot, too humid. Like, dude, you're getting paid millions of dollars. Just suck it up, Cupcake. 2 hours in a hot car is easier than a Mr. Beast challenge.
As long as that Mr. Beast challenge doesn't include that creepy dude in the dress.
Oh yeah, that dude. He got booted.
Oh, shame.
Something to do with saying things to children. Something like that. I don't know.
Sounds right.
So yeah, you don't have to, if you get in a Mr. Beast challenge, you don't have to worry about that guy.
Oh, good.
On to drivers. Ricardo probably had his last race.
When all the other drivers line up to say goodbye.
Yeah, that's a big hint.
Not a good.
So, I don't know. What do you think? Is he still going to... There's nothing's been announced yet. There's a lot of speculation, but do you think he'll be there for the U.S. Grand Prix?
not after that. Not after that farewell from all the other drivers. I think that someone knows something, or else.
Yeah, you know what? He didn't do much worse than his teammate.
No, but he's older, and Red Bull wants the brand new guy in for their junior team, because they're allowed to have 2 teams.
Yeah.
But Cadillac can have 0 teams.
Perez had another subpar performance, as we talked about.
Oh, yeah.
P13 to P10. I don't know. I'm still predicting that Lawson gets Ricciardo's seat, but Ricciardo gets Perez's seat. He's still a reliable guy if you put him in a better car.
I think he would be a better number 2 driver.
Yeah.
To support. I don't. Perez kind of starts off the season thinking he's going to be going for the championship every year, and
not even close.
And they just kind of like, no, just listen, Rubens, you get in number 2, and you're going to hold off everyone else.
Yeah. You don't like your job, go talk to Felipe Massa.
Colapino, however, has been a massive upgrade from Logan Sargent so far. He's already got some points, hasn't he?
Yeah. More points in 2 races than Logan Sargent had in 2 years.
Oh, rough.
Yeah. Sargent maybe on to IndyCar. He's supposed to test with Meyer Shank.
See how that goes. I wouldn't.
So, he might do okay. Or he might just skip straight to sports cars.
Seems like what some of them do. IndyCar's running out of seats too.
Oh, yeah.
I did notice that the RB team went with the Canadian tuxedo livery. The denim. It was like an all denim looking paint.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about, but interesting.
Red Bull was supposed to have a similar livery with like denim all over it, something to do with the sponsor. And then they chucked it at the last moment because the paint added too much weight to the car.
If the minuscule gram that the weight was going to add is going to ruin your car, then you have bigger problems. You should have just taken the sponsor cash for that one.
Yeah.
I will say that if Fox doesn't end up keeping Hinch on for IndyCar next year, I hope he stays with F1 TV, because he's pretty good in that role.
He's interesting.
Pre-show's pretty fun.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have F1 experience, but he knows a lot about the cars and driving, and is entertaining.
Yeah, Hinch does pretty good. Better than he did driving IndyCar, actually.
Yeah, that was rough.
Oh. Next up, Formula One has another European mental health break vacation, followed by the United States Grand Prix in 3 weeks.
The real one? The real one, right?
Yeah, the real U.S. Grand Prix, not the Miami or the Vegas one, the Texas one.
It's a cool track.
Yeah, and it's in the daytime, and it's not really hot and humid like Miami.
It's not 1 a.m. or 11 p.m.
The Vegas race starts at 10 o'clock local time, so 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, 1 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast.
Okay, whatever you guys, that's your decision to make.
I know they want to be under the Vegas lights and everything, but it gets dark at like 6.
Like 8 o'clock, it would still be pretty dark?
Yeah.
Well, IndyCar is done for the year, but there was some news.
Oh, yeah. Team Rahal Letterman. Wait, who's Lanigan?
Lanigan. Mr. Lanigan. Part owner. I don't know. I don't remember seeing him much, but he's in the name.
Okay. It was Rahal Letterman for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah. They needed an influx of cash, I guess.
So, Rahal team was raided by the FBI, who came in and collected most of their computer equipment.
My sources told me that Rahal recently spoke out against gender ideology at his children's school board meeting.
That'll get the FBI.
That's what I heard.
Now. My sources say that Rahal was swatted after an anonymous tip said that Hunter Biden left the laptop at RLL offices.
Oh, did they go there to throw it away?
Yeah.
Well, following the raid, Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing promptly changed their name to Biden Letterman Lanigan Racing. So the case was promptly dropped by the FBI. No wrongdoing was found, and they have now begun to investigate other teams for the crimes committed by the Rahal team.
I'm sure that'll last a long time.
Pretty standard move by the FBI. So what's coming up next? We have like ICE raiding McLaren for employing people from Ohio.
DMV raids Sauber for registering their cars as a racing vehicle.
Postal Inspection Service raids Meyer Shank for slow delivery speed.
The IRS raids Stuart Haas for not registering as a non-profit organization.
Too soon. Too soon.
Oh.
Thanks, IndyCar, for being interesting in the off-season already.
Actually more interesting than the season was for most of the time.
Non-FBI related IndyCar news. The series has approved charters.
Wait, just like NASCAR?
Pretty much like NASCAR. There's going to be 25 charters, up to 3 per team, which will guarantee you a start at every race, except the Indy 500. Once again, bad news for Rahal.
Yeah.
Bit of a tough week for them. Still going to have to try and qualify into that race.
Yeah.
That it'll set the field at a maximum of 27 cars. So I guess next season Prima is going to have to be racing both of their cars in on speed for all the races.
Crap. I lost it. I'm not supposed to. You know what? Let me move mine up.
Do you want to do
Let me move
comments in there?
I just want to move my my Ganassi comment up behind that. Okay. So Ganassi is reducing to 3 teams because of the charter system? That's why they're going down to 3?
I suppose it is.
Oh.
That makes more sense.
I didn't even realize they had 4 teams.
Well, that's because one of the teams was Marcus Armstrong.
Oh.
Who just a pay to play pretty much. Speaking of which, Meyer Shank will now be accepting Marcus Armstrong's money to race next year.
Oh, shocking. We could probably get a sponsorship at Meyer Shank Racing.
I don't know. Do we have $3 million? I'm sure we could get...
We could get like a sticker on the wing or something. It costs like $100 for Meyer Shank. They need the money.
Apparently they do. And Callum Elott has been signed by Prima for next season after being hired and fired by McLaren multiple times. Or was it this? I don't know. He was one of the McLaren drivers that get shifted around all the time.
Where is Callum? Callum Elott? Where's he from?
That sounds English, but I don't know.
It sounds like something you get when you type in or you go to those fantasy name generator sites. Like hit the button, male, Callum Elott. Okay.
Sounds a little English.
Female, Daenerys. Rumstuckle.
A little wizard's name.
Yeah.
Well, coming up next for IndyCar, absolutely nothing.
Which is still better than the thermal race.
That's correct. Unless someone else gets rated. I don't know. We'll talk about that, I guess.
Can we SWAT somebody so we get some news? I'm going to SWAT Penske because, they deserve it more than anybody. Cheater.com.
I feel like Juncos would be low-hanging fruit. They've probably got something shady going on over there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, can't we get... We could SWAT Penske for some kind of non-competitive antitrust law, like you own the series and you own the major racetrack and you own the team that wins the most. I'm sure there's antitrust there somewhere.
That all sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
In other news, not a whole lot, but RLL Racing. They did finish first and second in the prototype class at the 6 hours of the Brickyard, and the Penske Porsche finished third.
So I didn't realize that Rahal had a sports car team.
BMW. They run the prototypes. I don't know. They still had some GT BMWs too, but I don't know if they still do that.
Did Bobby create that team so Graham would have somewhere to go next year?
Yes, it sounds like it did.
You know what? If I'm Graham and I've been racing since I was like 16, like in the big leagues since 16, would you rather run a team or go race sports cars?
Sports cars and then show up at Indy. with a different team than Rahal.
A team that can actually get a car up on the grid.
Graham, what are you doing at Andretti?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, he did run for Ganassi for a while, so.
Was that when he first started? Yeah, he was Bourdais.
Right after the reunification.
Oh, that's right.
And
Yeah.
like he I forget, he had McDonald's and they lost him, and then he ended up driving one of Ganassi's cars for a little bit.
I remember he won his first race there early with that.
Was that where he did the Detroit, where he won both races in Detroit?
I think it was St. Pete when he got his first race way back when.
Okay. I mean, he can drive, just not really winning much with that team.
It's a little rough for him.
Yeah. That's it for this week. We will have a single header next week, just NASCAR.
Just NASCAR.
I'm sure we're going to have some news to report with Formula One at least, if not IndyCar as well.
See what's going on at IndyCar.
Yep. All right, stay out of the heat.